This is the plaintiff, Diana Vini, also known as Diane Bigliota. She says she bought a used car from the defendant, and the guy out and out unloaded a lemon on her. After calling the defendant on the phone and getting nowhere, she decided to drive the car back to his lot, and the thing went kaboom, actually exploded. The defendant performed illegal repairs on the car, put her life in jeopardy, and she wants her $820 back. This is the defendant, Chris Pendle. He says the woman bought a 17-year-old car with a 30-day warranty. And after about 6 weeks, she decided she didn't want the car anymore. He was being a nice guy by taking the car back, returning $2,000 to her. And this is the thanks he gets? A lawsuit for another $800? Good one. He's accused of selling lemons.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says the car she bought from the defendant was so bad it put her life in jeopardy. But the defendant says the car is 17 years old and she waited 6 weeks to change her mind, even took it back and gave her $2,000 back. It's the case of I got junk in my clunker.
Thank you, Douglas. Diane Aveni?
Yes, I'm now known as Diane Vigliata.
Otherwise known as Diane Vigliata. Which would you like me to call you?
I prefer Vigliata. I just got married in May. So.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're suing Family Auto Sales, owned by Chris Pendle?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. For $820, the balance that you say is owed back to you on a car that you took back to him. All right. What happened? You bought a car when?
We bought a car in May of this year. It was a used car from his dealership.
What day?
The bill of sale is for, let's see what it says.
Can I see the bill of sale?
524.
Okay. All right. What kind of car?
It's a Grand Cherokee, Jeep Grand Cherokee, 1995.
Uh-huh. And what happens? What goes wrong?
Well, when we first took it for the test drive, we saw that there was some broken lights on the interior, as well as the speedometer wasn't working. So before we took possession of the car, he agreed that he was going to fix those things. And so in fact, he did do that. And when we purchased the car, the odometer said 159,000 miles on it. But when we, got it back, he actually had to replace the whole unit. So it took the mileage up to 200,000, which we didn't like. And we told him,
why did it do that?
It was a replacement. They're not easy to get new. I called Chris beforehand and asked him if that was okay. Otherwise, I could have it reprogrammed.
Who's Chris?
Her husband.
my husband.
Oh,
He said that was fine.
Was that fine?
It was fine until I told my wife, Your Honor.
Oh. Exactly, Douglas. What's the correct order?
Go to the wife.
You find out if it's fine.
Correct, ma'am.
Okay. And now you've been married how long? 20 minutes?
I was married.
Get to know this lesson.
I was married once before for 20 years.
Yeah, how'd that work out? Okay.
I'm married again.
Oh, to her?
Yeah.
Oh, you were married to her for 20 years?
No, my first wife I was married to.
Oh, okay. All right.
We've been married only since May.
Listen, you got to train him better than the last one. Okay. Lordy. Speak first, ask questions later. Okay. So now it was fine. You agree. You told him it was fine, and then your wife didn't like it. All right. So go on.
Well, that wasn't the issue with the car. I mean, the sunroof leaked profusely into the car and just drenched everywhere. And we told him about it, and there was also an oil leak under the car. So he said, okay, he would fix it. I mean, you don't sell a car that's not roadworthy. Those kinds of things, it shouldn't be sold that way. I mean, the first rainstorm, the rain comes right in. So he agreed to fix it. But when we got it back, and it continued to leak, and we continued to notice the oil leak under the car. So we were getting very annoyed. I mean, he was, we liked each other at first. Everything was fine. But, he became more and more contentious because these things were not getting fixed. So finally, when we took it back, I mean, I can show you the pictures, how they finally repaired it. The sunroof was all gummed up with silicone, and I have photographs of that, which was not really the way, it didn't look nice, but we were so sick of taking it back and forth, we said, okay. So here are the pictures of that.
Okay.
And so the car was running a little rough, and my husband decided to get an oil change. He said, well, maybe that would, make it feel, run a little bit better. Mm-hmm. So when he went to take it to get an oil change, the mechanic called him over and said, come and take a look at this underneath the car. And he showed the transfer box underneath the car had been gummed up with that very same silicone that you see there. And I have pictures of that on the transfer box.
What's your response to that?
There are multiple things on the car that can leak. My mechanic told me that they fixed an oil pan leak.
How did they fix it?
Well, silicone gaskets are sometimes used for the gaskets. I
Okay.
don't know what was used
Do
for
you
the
know what
transfer
we're talking
case.
about here?
I do not.
Okay, let's take a look at what we're talking about, because what's that?
Pretty close up, but if they say it's the transfer case, I wouldn't disagree.
Okay. Would that be an appropriate repair, though? Or would that be sort of like a cheap and fast and easy way to finish fast?
It would be a short and easy way to do
Finish
it.
fast. All right. Did you sell this car with a warranty?
Yes,
Okay. And how long is the warranty?
30 days.
All right. Now, at some point, you decide you don't want the car.
Yeah.
When do you decide you don't want the
It
car?
was after we discovered the silicone
What
underneath.
date?
It was probably whatever the date is on that invoice. It's probably
the invoice, which is July.
okay.
Okay. So it's after the 30-day warranty has expired. Correct?
Okay.
All right. And then what happens? You talk to him.
So we tell him the situation. We tell him it was a dangerous repair. He should never have repaired it that way. I mean, if you go and you say you're repairing something, you would assume it would be repaired the right way, not some faulty way. He is a business owner. I mean,
Right. And then, so to repair it the right way would cost how much?
I don't know. I
Right.
mean,
Exactly. So if
you
it
know.
would cost $50 or $100, that would be your measure of damages here. But that's not what you wanted. In general, you were disillusioned. You were no
Yes.
longer, hope that you last longer than that. You were no longer in love with the car.
Yes.
You didn't want it. So you call him, and who does the negotiating to return the car?
we both did.
Okay,
we
and
went
tell me about it.
So we went to his shop and we told him that, the car that he initially sold us was not roadworthy. He shouldn't have sold it that way. It had problems that was never fixed. So, I mean,
Did you ever have a mechanic look at the car before?
no.
No, we did not.
Yeah, that's a good idea, isn't it?
Well, I
People
will in
don't
the
do
future.
it because, huh?
I will in the future.
right? Because nobody wants to pay the mechanic the $150 or whatever to inspect the car.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're penny wise and pound foolish if you don't do that.
Well, can I show you one more picture,
Yeah.
Your Honor? When we did return the car to him, the thing sort of exploded underneath the car, and I don't know if it was from the
What?
silicone gumming up.
On the day
under-
that you're returning it?
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, like, what do you mean?
the day we returned it.
The day you return it,
Yes.
you're driving in
and the thing explodes underneath the car.
on his property?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I
No,
had-
wait. Like, you're driving in and the thing goes,
Yes.
like it just gave up on his property?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's poetic. Really?
Yes and no. Not the same piece.
So would you ever buy a 95 Cherokee?
No, I wouldn't.
Why?
Too much time has passed on the car, and
A 17-year-old car. I mean, can a 17-year-old car be a good car?
I don't think so. Too much has gone through. You don't know how many owners it's
How
had.
about a Mercedes?
I wouldn't buy it.
Okay, what do you think? You get the final word?
no, it's the same. I'm not stupid.
A what?
I'm not stupid.
Okay, he's not stupid. Going inside the courtroom.
I want to understand something though. You negotiate with him, and he says you've owned the car for what was it at that
It
point?
was right around 6 weeks, I believe.
6 weeks. I don't know how you've driven it. I realize I may have some fault. Maybe you have some fault. I don't know. But I'll tell you what. I'll offer you $2,000. Now, a lot of people would say, no, I want 28.
Well, that's what I did. We went in there.
Right. But at some
knowing-
point, you take the 2,000.
Yes, I did.
Why did you take the 2,000?
Because it's better than zero.
Right. It's particularly better than zero if you can take the 2,000 and then say, ha, just kidding, psych, and go to court.
Right.
Did she sign something? Please tell me you had her sign something.
I believe I did, but I think I was in a rush to get them out, and I believe I gave them the signed copy.
Yo, I have his signed copy
Let me
here.
see what it is.
I didn't sign a release saying that I wouldn't continue to get my full
let me see what this
refund.
says. I'll tell you if it's a settlement or not. Hold
Okay.
on. It looks like a settlement. So I gotta see what you signed. I, Chris Pendle of Family Auto Sales, have agreed with Diana Vaney to purchase back the 1995 Grand Jeep Cherokee VIN number blah in the amount of $2,000. How is that not a settlement?
Well, I didn't take.
I know it doesn't have the magic words of,
Yeah.
which would be better if you have magic words that say, I hereby release all future, but it doesn't have to have those magic
Yeah.
words. See, here's the idea. Courts want to encourage settlement. Why? They want you guys, when you're in the thick of things, when each of you have something to lose and something to gain, to negotiate and not bother us, okay? Because we're really, really busy. We have a lot of cases. We want to encourage parties to settle amongst themselves. You know what a good settlement is? You both walk away unhappy. That's a good deal.
Unhappy?
Unhappy. Not happy, unhappy. That's a mark of a good deal, where you feel like they feel like they're both unhappy. Not one's unhappy, both unhappy. Then you know that everybody gave up a little something, something, right? Okay. And the idea is that we don't want to overflood the courts. So when you guys settle, the law says you gotta respect the settlement. Okay? If this paper didn't exist, and the testimony were, well, yeah, I told them I'd take the 2,000 because I just wanted 2,000 better than zero, but I was always planning on it. That'd still be a settlement. Okay, that's a settlement. You can't come back and sue for the rest of the amount. My verdict in this case is for the defendant. And did you buy another car?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Have it seen by a mechanic.
So the judge rules there was a settlement in this case before they ever came to court. What's your reaction to that?
I can take the judge's decision.
Mm-hmm. You have something to add there?
Have a mechanic check your car and make sure you don't get ripped off by people. That's all.
Well, the mechanic is a good idea. So a good settlement is one where both parties are a little unhappy. You a little unhappy?
I'm fine. I'm glad it's over.
Tell us you're unhappy.
I wish I won.
All right. Head right there. Head right down there. Head right down this way. Okay, fellow? Officer McIntosh, come on in here. And so, good. You a little unhappy with the result too?
Yeah, I mean, I figured that's what it would be, but
Good.
much rather spend the day at work.
Good. Harvey?
Okay, this type of settlement is called legally an accord and satisfaction. What that means is that you basically draft a new agreement, a settlement agreement. So the old contract means nothing anymore, and you're stuck with the settlement. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.